So three. All right, what's up, viewers? Welcome to a new episode of Spartan Ownership, and I'm here today with Tony Solo, uh, international man of seduction from the natural lifestyles. And today we're gonna go all into like dating, relationships, game, seduction, you name it. And Tony, can you give the viewers a little bit of background about yourself?
Yeah, what's up, viewers? It's your boy Tony Solo, and let's see. Unlike many people that started in the community, I actually started at the young age of 11, and that's when I lost my virginity. And from that age, I've been thinking about the question and trying to figure out the question: how can men and women love each other and be happy together? Because my whole upbringing was domestic violence, people cheating on each other, and I just was wondering, okay, how can I? At first, it came, how can I save women from their pain? Which the white knight never works out in society, but I was trying to, that's why I started at. And that got me many insights into women and being around women a lot when I was younger, and me getting many women mentors. And it led to my whole journey of discovering, what it means to be a man that's great in relation to women and also without women, because in the journey I had to start understanding that without women, I need to be attractive, because that is what women want. They don't want the man who's just trying to be attractive, but who actually is attractive, because at some point she'll get to know that you're fake anyway. So I had to go through many evolutions in my journey, and it led me up to where I am now.
Right. Awesome, man. That's actually pretty interesting because a lot of PUAs are actually late bloomers. So, yeah. Cool, man. So I'm just curious, man, how's it like waking up in the morning and just being, doing what you do, Like, how do you feel waking up? Because you're not obviously like some average guy that just wakes up like, oh, shit, another day, Like, how's it feel to just be in that position?
I would say it feels, the best word to use is rewarding, because every single day that I wake up, it's the bliss to know that I can create. That's what it is. Because everybody who really is not, every person who's not waking up with that, oh God, here's another day attitude, they are a creator. If you think about it, every single person who's not waking up with that is. So I'm just one of those small amount of people out there who are like that. And it feels incredibly amazing, man, because it's, every day I'm forced to create. That's what it is. Whether it be my schedule, whether it be the next thing that I'm going after in life, I'm just forced to create every day. And the moment I stop creating, it's the moment I will wake up with that attitude of fuck, here's another day.
Right.
And yeah, I love creating, man. So every single day is a creation for me.
Beautiful, man. I love the way you put it, because I feel like a lot of guys, that get into like self-development and game, they start to really like see what's possible, but they don't really have any specific plans. So when your plans are super vague, like, oh, I just want to be happy, you don't know, like, you're not really going to approach them as quick. And the way you said that, like waking up and just feeling like you can create, that's a specific kind of purpose that, like, I'm probably going to start thinking about that too now. Like, ooh, I could start waking up with that mentality of creation, which will really start to kind of give me an idea of how to live my life. So I like that answer a lot, man. Because a lot of people just say, oh, I wake up happy, But it's like you actually say, like, create, which is specific, which is cool. So let's get into the nitty gritty, man. This is why you're here, of women and dating. And
Okay.
So from your perspective, what are some fundamental truths about women that most men are just not willing to accept?
You said they aren't?
Yeah, just they're not willing to accept, because there's a lot of things that you gotta tell your ego to shut up, because there's just a lot of things that we believe, but they're just not the case about women. So
okay, the first thing that I say that many men don't want to accept, and this is the biggest and the most crucial thing, is that women don't operate like a man. That's the first thing I would say for every guy out there in the world says, you know what? Oh, fuck, man, I just don't want to accept the fact that women, they're actually liars. Like, they say one thing and they mean one thing, Women, they're not emotionally stable. It's all these things where guys go, why can't they be just like a man? And that's the most horrible attitude to take, because you take away the feminine blessing, which is to be everything. That is the feminine blessing. The feminine blessing is to be angry this moment, to be turned on this moment, to be happy this moment. Then as time shift and change, even with the weather, for her to change and to feel something else, because she flows with life. Men need to understand is that a woman is not fixated, and they should stop wanting to put a constraint on a woman to be like a man. That's one truth that a man should start to understand, is that a woman will never be like a man. And the moment that you start accepting that, that's the moment where you actually see all the ugliness in a woman that a man sees as beauty. That's when it makes the shift, because men have okay, when she's happy, she's beautiful. When she's angry, she's ugly. Actually, if you can see the feminine as beauty all the way through, when she's angry, you find it sexy. When you find you make love through it, so to speak. You are not trying to judge it. You're just allowing yourself to be the witness of it. And much like meditation, you can just be the witness of each thought. You can be the witness of each mood that a woman is going through.
Right.
And that's how you're going to be able to truly appreciate her. So that's absolutely one truth that I think the man should come to. Women are not like men, so stop trying to make them into that.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Sorry, you had another one.
Yeah. Another truth that I think that men should come to is, if he wants to have many women in his life, he's going to have to not need women. This is so important, because if he goes through his life believing that I need women, in a sense of like they are going to complete me, he will go through his life always with an attachment to every girl. And for you to truly see a woman in all her totality, it requires you to be detached from the woman, in the sense of like there shouldn't be any attachment to her, so you can see her for all she is. Because attachment makes you blind. It makes you blind to the woman. You can't see the woman in present moment freshness. So it's important for a man to understand that if he wants to have many women in his life, and this is why guys always talk about in the community non-neediness as this term that's going around the community. Most guys who come to non-neediness are guys who are in the community and they have sex with hundreds of girls, and they go, you know what, I don't need women. I go around and I could just have a lot of women, but I don't need them.
Right.
And they come to that realization through fucking a lot of women. But if you can come to the realization through going through your evolution as a man, having sex with women, and just understanding that a woman won't satisfy you in the way that you think she will, because many men think that a woman will, there's a part of them that's missing, and if they just got those certain amount of women fucked, or if they just got that certain woman, she would actually fulfill that part of themselves that they are looking for, searching for. And when they can just begin to, so to speak, generate whatever it is that they are wanting from that woman, then they can really, really give to that woman. They can really share with that woman in the way they want to. So that's for me. That's been a journey for me. It really has. And that's an insight that, I don't know if you ever heard, but that's something that's been something for me. Absolutely.
Wow, man. And the last part, in the last part, you were saying something about generating.
Yes.
What can you elaborate on that?
Yes. Generating means that you need to start inducing in yourself, or start to search for the part of yourself that you're looking for in women.
Huh.
That's what it means. So there's a part of a man that when he sees a woman, he goes, that woman will make me feel this thing. And he goes up to her and he's attached to that. So the girl, she may go, no, sorry, or she may give him a rejection, and he feels derailed. He feels completely like he's been defeated, because what he's been searching for, he's not getting. And the thing is that once he can allow himself to stop searching for that thing inside of women and start to look at that thing inside himself and start to, so to speak, allow himself to express that, that's when he'll be able to go to women and really be able to talk to them in a normal way.
Right.
Appreciate them in a normal way, because you can't be normal if you go up to somebody and you have attachment. There's no way you can be normal, because you're bending and folding and molding yourself to the person.
Wow, man, that's a really cool insight. Like, because the way you made it sound is like you have to basically be like a complete individual, which almost sounds to me like you got to be a master in a sense, like of your own self, and
Absolutely.
from that kind of core of mastery, then you can go out and seek out women. But the thing is, at that point, they just become a bonus to your life. They don't become some sort of other piece of the puzzle. They just become a bonus. Is that would that be a good way of putting it?
Yes. And the thing is that I don't know if bonus is the right word to use.
Okay.
I would say they can become a incredible ally to your life, so to speak. They can become somebody that's side by side with you and giving you insights into yourself and giving you the feminine blessing at the same time. Because there's not a creature on earth than a woman that's going to show you your weaknesses, your strengths, and all that you are, because she is always reflecting back to you. Because a woman can see much further into a man a lot of times than he can, because she's so identified with the energy of life that she can see the shifts in its energy very quick. So she's able to locate, okay, I can test him right here and see if he's strong, but I can test him at this angle and see if he's strong. And every time she tests you and she relaxes, she knows that, okay, that's where he's strong at. But the moment she finds somewhere where you're weak, she'll keep testing there until you become strong. That's how women are so amazing for you. And the moment that you can just walk through life and have the attitude that, yes, what's important to me is where I'm going in life. And I can have a woman side by side with me. And even when I have that woman side by side with me, I know that woman is replaceable and I can get someone else. Mm-hmm. Now, you don't walk around with the arrogant attitude with the woman you have, because then you're disconnected from her. But you just know in your core that you're already full and that she's just alongside of you as somebody else you've attracted into your life to be able to grow with and share with. And that's also something that a man, and I feel like all people want, is somebody to share with. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, to be able to share the love that you are. So that's my take on it, man.
Awesome, man. And, you know, are you familiar with David Tien by any chance?
David Tien?
Tien. He's like a Asian pickup artist from
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
he's
I've seen him once, yeah.
Yeah, so I actually interviewed him too, like 2 weeks ago, and we basically spoke about like masculine and feminine polarities, and he was talking about like he briefly kind of spoke about the differences in like the energies, and I kind of want to get your take on that. Like, what are the major sort of things a man must keep in mind in order to make sure that that polarity is there? You know, between like, how do you ground yourself in that masculine energy, and how do you approach, feminine energy versus masculine energy? Like, how do you know when you're in your masculine? How do you know when you're in your feminine? You know.
The main thing to understand is that stillness always pervades, whether you know it's there or not. But once you become one with the stillness that's already there that pervades everything on earth, that's when you step into the masculine. Because the masculine, in essence, is stillness.
Mm-hmm.
So for you to be able to be the thing that's the immovable, that needs a complementary opposite, which is the movable. And the movable is the feminine. The feminine is everything inside of what the masculine can observe. So the masculine stands outside of life and notices what's happening, and the feminine is everything that he's noticing, or the energy is noticing. So everything around you, the computer, your shirt, everything, if it can change, it is the feminine.
Okay.
The feminine is change. So in the terms of man and woman, how do you know when you're in your masculine, when you're feminine? They're always happening actually at the same time, yin yang. They're always actually happening at the same time, but people tend to identify with one more than the other. So many of the times, women tend to identify more with the feminine. They tend to identify with change, the flow of life, being able to express their heart, being able to express sensitivity, being able to be the storm each moment, or the moments the way they feel it, being vulnerable. All that is the feminine. Anything that has to do with expression is feminine. Anything. Moving is the feminine. Now the masculine is one with everything. The masculine is truth. I mean, absolute truth. Not the truth that changes, but the truth that's actually fixated, the one that doesn't change.
Hmm.
Because truth doesn't exist outside the present moment. Truth is in the present moment. When somebody is not telling the truth, they've moved into something called manipulation. They moved into lying, which is outside the present moment. They had to go upstairs to go, oh shit, I may get in trouble for doing this. Oh shit, this may be something that I may get in trouble for. And it's always this thing of there's something bad going to happen if I tell this truth. And that requires you to go upstairs. But if you can stay in this moment and just allow yourself to be one with the truth that comes through you, that is what is. Because that's the thing that has no attachment. Truth doesn't have attachment. So why do you, when guys become really needy for a woman, they move into the feminine. The priority of the feminine is the flow of love and intimacy. Is the flow of love. That's the priority of the feminine, wanting to have love constantly. So men, they move into, when a man is moving into his feminine, it can happen in a bad way or a good way. And the bad way is he starts to get away from his core, and he starts to cling to the woman. He starts to cling to what it is that she's giving him.
Right.
And that's the thing. That's when a man becomes the bad feminine within itself, because feminine and masculine exists within everyone. And that's when it becomes his, so to speak, his immature feminine. But he can move into his mature feminine by being able to express sensitivity, love, appreciation, and just allowing it to be expressed without trying to hold on. That's when it's really, really healthy, when he's not trying to hold on and when it's just being expressed. That's when he's in his feminine.
So when a man is in his feminine, in the way that you speak, like in a way that he shows expression and giving and appreciation.
Yeah.
But you said it like that he does those things in an unattached way.
Yeah.
Is he still in his feminine then in that case, or is he in his masculine because he's doing it in an unattached way, or is it a mix of some sort?
No, remember I told you yin yang.
Yeah.
It's happening always at the same time. It's always happening at the same time, but it's which one are you more identified with in the moment?
Oh, okay. So there's basically a mix, but you're more in one, if anything.
Yes, you're more in the feminine in that moment.
Right.
So that means that, for you to be able to get a woman that's attracted to you, she would actually have to move into her masculine in that moment for there to be sexual attraction. But so I mean that she would have to go into the observer and let you express. Mm-hmm. So because this is something that the community would never ever talk about, because they actually don't understand it in this way. But for a man to be a fully integrated man, he must be mature in both. But of course, the fullest expression of the masculine, which is probably his core.
Right.
Yeah. So if we had to stay on the terms of masculine, we can stay in the terms of he's in his masculine any moment where he's with a woman and he's being able to just observe her. He's being able to not be reactive, because reactivity is of the feminine. When he's there and he's being able to express his truth, expressing your truth is the masculine. When he's penetrating through her bullshit, when she's giving him a test and he's being able to just stay grounded and steady when she's doing that, that's in the masculine moment. So the masculine happens majority of the time, so to speak, for him. But there will be moments where he needs to step into his feminine though. So I'm not going to get into this huge rant about when he needs to and when he not needs to, but these are the times where a man is in his masculine, where a woman is in her feminine as well. Mm-hmm. So because my tendency is to just like go on this huge rant, so I'm gonna cut it down for you.
Understood. And just because a question came up to me, which is, how like anytime you read a book on meditation or you see a video about meditation or whatever, it's always like the same message, which is people think too much, they're too identified with their thoughts, and you have to meditate in order to disidentify from your mind and ground yourself in the present moment. So with that being said, if most people, we're talking 99.9% of people are identified with their minds, which is movement, right? And would it be safe to say that, therefore, that most people are identified, most men are identified with their feminine because if they're
Yes.
identified with their thoughts.
Yes. But the thing is that bodily, there's a lot of men who actually radiate masculinity radiate a lot of stillness without even trying to be still. So there's some guys who actually have feminine features and they tend to radiate more femininity, but there's guys who look very brooding who tend to radiate, rigidity, which is of the masculine, which is something that's not beautiful. The masculine is just the witness, so it's nothingness, so to speak. So when you see a man kind of like brooding face, that's why women are drawn to that, because that shows nothingness.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. But getting back to the question that you said, are most men identified with their, absolutely. Remember, in this time and age, women are learning what it means to take on the masculine, and men are learning what it means to take on the feminine.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people going to sleep, they're still asleep, and there's a lot of people going to sleep more because of technology, and there's a lot of people waking up as well. Like us, like people who are coming into the community, people who are trying to find, the conscious world and see what that's like. There's more people waking up, but also as many people asleep. And reactivity is what people identify with, and reactivity is the feminine. That's what it is. So anything that's just flowing with life and going from thing to thing, that is a feminine thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it is absolutely true that many men now today are identified with the feminine. That's why women are seeing men now as weak.
Right.
Because they just can't stand their ground. They can't handle the moods of a woman. They just can't handle it. And that's, to me, is going to be the next evolution of a man, is being able to be the witness of a woman's mood, because of her moods, because that's the next stage, I feel.
Mm-hmm. And because let's say like 50 years ago or 60 years ago, like 1940s, 50s, they say that like the 1940s generation was the best or the last greatest generation. You ever heard that expression?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the men were strong. They fought in World War II and everything. But a lot of those guys never heard of like awareness and stillness. Yet, would it be safe to say that they were still identified with masculine energy because they were strong, mentally and resilient, and they weren't taught to be reactive. They weren't conditioned to be reactive during those times? Like,
I would say that the reason why they embody more masculinity is because they had a mission.
mm-hmm.
That's why. Remember, nowadays, guys, it's great that they have a mission, but remember, mission, that's for everybody now. Back then, it was just for men. So women were the ones who could embody the feminine jewels. But now women are starting to identify with, okay, what's my mission in life? And that's taking them away from their core as well. So women, it's just as much as men are becoming feminine, women are becoming masculine, and moving away from what their core is.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that back then, the reason why I was so polarized is because the man had the mission. I was going to war, or I knew I had to provide for my family. I knew I had to do things in the world if I wanted to get by. And that doing for a man is his mission, so to speak, or just, even if it was an immature way of the mission, it was still the mission, and he was going somewhere, and his woman was just there at home, and she was just making sure that he, had food and stuff like that. And
right.
that way of being it worked because the polarity was very, very clear. There was a clear polarity. Now the polarity is unclear. It's really, really unclear.
Yeah, there's like a gray area.
Absolutely.
100%. I could definitely see that. And, well, since, you see society nowadays with this gray area becoming more and more prominent, and I doubt we're going to really do a 180 and go back to man is man, woman is woman. So how would you describe I know there's exceptions to the rule, but for the average masculine man, who's identified with his masculine, who's on his path, how would you describe an ideal kind of relationship, in a sense where does the woman stay home back in the day, or does she have a mission but she's not as identified with it or something? Like, how would you describe the situation briefly?
For now?
Yeah.
Are you saying for up to date, how would I describe the situation for
how would you describe
an
ideal situation with today's kind of climate? Because you're not gonna tell
Okay.
you're not gonna tell your woman like, oh, just stay home all day. You're not gonna say that,
Mhm.
because she most likely has shit going on too now. It's not like back then where she would just be in the house all day. You know.
Yeah, I think the ideal situation is for both people to have whatever it is that they have. Um, First of all, I would say both come in with from independence. That's what I would say. Both come in from independence because when they both come in with the attitude of we want to come together to grow, but not to try to lean on each other for our happiness. That's what I think is ideal for two people to come in. Then when they come in, I think it's important that the woman be able to relax romantically. So, because she can be whatever it is she want outside the bedroom, like she can have her job, she can be able to go out there and do in the world. But when it comes to romance with a man, can she relax with him? Can she relax back into her heart? Can she be able to give the man the feminine blessing that he want, which is her sexuality, which is her being able to be in her heart and to soften him because his thing all day is what do I need to do to relax into nothingness for today?
Huh.
And for him to be able to do that is going to require him to complete what he needs to do for the day. But if he completes what he needs to do for the day and he comes to a masculine woman, he's not going to soften. He's going to go out there and seek another woman out who's going to rejuvenate him, who's going to be able to solve him. That's why people are cheating on each other because they're not knowing what the other person needs. So that's what I think it is. Romantically, if the woman can relax and the man can uh, be able to come to a place of being able to guide her back to her heart so she can relax, that's when I think it's going to be healthy. That's for me. That's what I believe.
Okay. So to kind of conclude on that point, you said independent. That both come together in a spirit of independence. But would you say that back then, 1950s, let's just use that as the example, that they were dependent more? Because
Yes, I would. Yes, I would say that the woman was dependent and the man had an independence. So it was like one. It wasn't beneficiary. It wasn't beneficial for both. But when it's beneficial for both, to be honest, when it's beneficial for both, two dependent people can come together and believe that it's beneficial because they actually attracted each other into each other's experience. But for it to be healthy, it requires two for real independent people to come together. And most people today, 99% of relationships won't be that way, to be honest. They will not come together in a spirit of independence and grow together. That's just something it requires two evolved human beings to do.
And when you say independence, do you mean that they don't depend on one another for their emotional state, meaning they're grounded enough within themselves that they don't need the other person, like they're not needy? Is that what you mean by independent?
Yes, that means they're independent of the person to be able to be happy. That's what it means.
Oh yeah, okay, cool.
Yes, and if they're happy, two happy people that come together who are independent of each other, and they can share happiness together and grow with that. Even they both can still help each other, and one can still want the other one to want the other to have empathy and things like that. But when it comes to each other needing the other person for the other person for them feeling unfulfillment within themselves, that's when it'll become chaotic because if the person even looks at another person or if the person doesn't call at the right time, they'll start to believe that they're losing the other person. And that's when jealousy comes in.
Right.
And all the other toxic things like that.
Yeah, it's like in a lot of relationships, you hear a common thing to hear is like, oh, you make me so angry or you make me so sad. And it's always you make me. So I feel like that's a very dependent attitude because you're not independent. You can't make yourself feel. In reality, you're making yourself feel, right? And it's not the other person. So cool, man.
Yes, it's just, yeah.
Cool. And if you could compare game to, because I like, like a lot of people, game is a complicated thing sometimes. Like there's a lot of things to know, and if you could compare it to an activity or for the purpose of an analogy, what would it be? Like, how they say like for business you could for business you might think of it as a poker game. You got your cards or whatever. Like, what would you compare a game to? Like maybe poker, maybe fishing, maybe, I don't know, sales. Some people think game is like sales. What would you compare it to?
Dance.
Dance.
Absolutely. This is the thing that I do. It's my love, one of the loves of my life, which is dance. And there's nothing that you can't learn in dance that can't work in seduction, and vice versa. Because, um, and I'm talking about partner dancing. That's what I'm talking about. A dance where the man is clearly in the lead and the woman is, so to speak, coming along with him. And she's just being all that she is. And I think that one of the best dances to be able to show this is bachata, which is, you know what bachata is, yeah?
I'm pretty sure it's a South American dance.
Yeah, it's a Latin dance.
Yeah.
And it's to me, it's just an example, but it requires that, I mean, most Latin dances, or all of them, they require that the man leads and the woman follows. Now, when you're in bachata, you must lead a woman's body in getting her to be her most sexual self, so to speak, her most sensual self. And it's really up to the man most of the times to be able to guide a woman in that. Now, I've seen other dances like tango where it's complete intensity and it's complete full-on direct, I want you, and her saying, her kind of like pushing you away and her giving you some and her pushing you away. And it's just showing you the dance of the feminine. Because the feminine, what's the feminine bliss is to resist the masculine and then relax. That is her erotic bliss. Her erotic bliss is to be there for you, then take it away, be there for you, then take it away. Show you some and then take it away. This is why when you're on a date with a girl, you may go for the kiss and she may turn her head, and all it means is not right now.
Right.
And she needs to do that because she needs to see that, can I relax into you later? Can I relax into you the next time I do that? Because if you become someone that's reactive, someone that just reacts to whatever ever happens inside of you, then she goes, I can't relax into this man and be all that I want. That is something that she's hoping for. She's hoping that she can just show you everything. She really does want to. Women are actually afraid to show men everything. But if you can just do that thing of being able to allow her to be the feminine, to resist you and then give in, then it's nothing better than that. And I think the dance that shows that incredibly, which I do, is bachata.
Wow, man, that was really, really, really insightful, man. I feel like this is one of those, like, those are one of those kinds of answers that I'm gonna have to ponder to really understand, man. Because, yeah, it's pretty awesome. So, like, dance, cool. And this is a little bit, I guess, more of the technical, because we have been speaking about the almost like inner game, I want to say, concepts, and let's kind of maneuver a little bit to the outer game type stuff. Like, you ever heard of the 80-20 principle?
You have to refresh me because I heard of it, but I don't remember like what it's about. Yeah.
Sure. So basically the 80-20 principle just means that 20% of what you do gives you 80% of the results you get. So it could usually be applied to business. It could usually be applied to sports. Like, for example, if you're a bodybuilder, it's really 20% of the stuff you do usually that gives you the 80% of your bulk, which might be like squats and deadlifts, for example. So what's the 20% that you really got to focus on in say outer game that gives you the 80% of the results you want? And then there's the other little detailed stuff, like the more technical aspects. But what's the main thing you really got to develop, that gives you the bulk of your results?
I would say, if we have to go with outer game thing.
I mean, you could intertwine the two, but I just figured it would be nice to touch up on outer a bit because we have been talking about inner quite a bit.
Yeah. I would have to say this is in relation to women, yeah. I would say what I really believe it is being able to, it's the act of observing that in itself, just the act of observing.
So presence.
Yeah. Yes, being able to observe. I would say presence, yes, because I don't want to move it to something that's, too inner. But
Right.
that's why I said the act of observing.
Okay.
Because you can be present and just be staring at something, but you need to observe exactly what's happening. And I would say the act of observing to the depth of what's really happening in a woman.
Okay.
Because when you're there with the girl, she may say, all right, but okay, well, it was nice meeting you and I'm going to get out of here. And then if you're really observing what's happening, you know that, yeah, she's leaving. But if you leave one step further, what's happening underneath, you can see that the woman is just not knowing what to do, or she is really in a rush, but you have this feeling, so to speak, that what's happening inside of her is she's just flowing with what's happening, and it's important for you to just bring her back to what the importance is. So to not take you too far off, and to bring it more, something that's more understandable, being able to observe a woman's internal state when it's shifting will let you know exactly what you need to do.
Okay, so awareness of, would it be like almost like body language, being able to read what's going on?
Yes, and I can say body language, but body language it can sometimes throw men because they can see something and goes, okay, that's the thing that means that, and then they attach themselves to it.
Okay.
So I would say being able to see past actually what's happening for a woman in a moment. Now this requires someone to be very incredibly zoned in on what's really happening, because a woman can say, when you ask her a question, she can go, let's say I asked a woman this, I said, what do you love to do? And she goes, I don't know. That's just, if you can really see what's happening, that's just a reaction to what you're saying. Most guys, they would go, oh, okay, do you like doing this or do you like doing this? What you need to do is, she's saying I don't know as a filler to her being able to open. So if you give her another moment, she will come up with an answer. That's the thing of being able to observe in those moments. Because she's not saying it because she really doesn't know. She's just saying it because it's just the thing that comes up. So if you can get used to being able to be in front of a woman and really see to the truth of what's happening when she goes, tonight, when she's in the bedroom and she goes, tonight, I just don't, I don't know if, I don't feel right in the situation. This is too fast for me. If a guy looking at that moment, he may go, all right, well, this is last minute resistance. All I have to do is say a few things and I'll be over this. If you can really look to see what's happening, you will see that this woman, she just needs to relax into herself. She's feeling really, really nervous about what's happening, and she needs relaxation into herself. That's the reason why people have made up techniques like just give her a massage, because they know that that's something that relaxes her into herself, or something that relaxes her. So it's being able to really observe the woman in her internal state. I would say if that's one thing that a guy could do as far as over anything else, is being aware of a woman's internal state. Because if he's aware of it, he'll know skillfully what to do moment to moment.
Right. Cool, man. Great answer. And just to touch up on the example you were saying of the last minute resistance. So what would you have done instead of, say, a massage or whatever to make her relax in that state, with that being said?
Okay. Let's do a scenario, okay? A girl goes, right now, I know that, I don't want to break the moment, but I know this is something I have to say. Tonight we definitely, I don't think we can have sex because, this is too fast and I'm not used to this. So, and then while she's saying this, I know that she actually does want to, because if we've been kissing and she's been bodily showing me that she wants to, I know she wants to, but she's just reacting to her mind. And a woman doesn't live here. A woman lives in her heart. So to me, to be able to get her back into her body, this is what I would say in that moment. I need to say this, or this is what I would say. In the middle of her talking, I would just say, relax. Slow down. this is something that it don't have to happen. And as I'm saying this, I'm looking her completely in the eyes the whole time, and I'm unwavered because this is the truth. Nothing right now really needs to happen. You know, there's no pressure on you. We can just stay in this moment and just enjoy it for what it is. And then she goes, okay. And then I kiss her to let her know that I understand where you are. I'm not trying to make you move faster than what you're trying to move. I completely want you. And some women, I actually say, if a woman gives me something that's too out fucking landish, I'll go, yeah, I'll give you an example on that. But let's stay with this one. Then I'll go, all right, you know what? Let's sit down. And then as we're sitting down, I'll just start talking to her, and I'll completely forget about the fact that sex is something that is in the air. And what happens a lot of times is that the woman relaxes because the pressure of the situation is what makes her go, oh, we can't do this, and then this is too fast, and this and this. And I go, just slow down. And she feels it in me. The girl is zoning. Remember, she lives in energy. She knows what the energy of empathy feels like. So I'm really empathetic with this woman. I'm really showing her that I actually care about you. I actually care about our time together and us having sex together and the experience. I'm not here to make you move faster than you want to, or I'm not also here to show you that I don't want you, because I do. Like, I never back away from the fact that I want a woman. But I'm also empathetic to the fact that it doesn't have to happen in this moment right now while she's scared or nervous.
Beautiful, man. And in that case, would you then, like you said, talk, you relax, decrease the pressure, and then go back in again, re-engage?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because remember, a woman, her truth is from moment to moment. It never is fixated. It's never fixated. Some women, they have a truth that's fixated. They go, tonight is not happening. And no matter how much you are, you go it again, or you try again, and it just won't happen. And that's something you have to understand. But most women in that situation, they're just reacting to their mind. Most of them.
And just to say, when a woman is like in that state, basically, where she is fixated on one thing, would that be an example of her at that point being in her masculine?
Absolutely, because the masculine is fixated over time.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's important because anytime a woman is in her masculine, or she moves into her masculine, or that's not bad. It's not bad for a woman to do that. It's just, is she doing that and can't relax? Because some women, they just do it and then because they're scared of losing control. They're scared of relaxing. That's what some women do that. And then those are the women who will get wimpy men. And then they'll be mad at him because he's wimpy. Like that's the thing that happens nowadays.
And is that usually because she's had some experiences that made her kind of made her fear letting go?
Absolutely, yep. It's when I've let go, I've been hurt. So my thing is, when I feel like I'm letting go, my reaction is to close and then become false strong, so to speak. If they think they're becoming strong, but they're actually falsely strong.
I see, man. Thank you. And to kind of conclude the talk, I just want to hear your story about this, because I think that you went on a Vipassana retreat, right?
Yeah, I did.
Because I'm pretty sure I saw it on your Facebook or something. And how was that like, and how did your life change after that? Because I know a lot of my viewers are into meditation, and I know that meditation helps you with presence, and presence helps you with women. So how did that kind of affect your life, and how was the experience?
Oh man, it was one of my most groundbreaking, changing experiences of my life. I did it, I think, in 2014, and when I did it, man, it was. First of all, I wanted to leave on day 2. I did. It's 10 days, but I wanted to leave on fucking day 2 because
before you go too deep into it, I just want to tell the viewers, just in case they don't know about it, it's a 10-day meditation retreat where you cannot talk at all for 10 days, and you meditate like 13 hours a day, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is, guys. It's a very intense meditation experience. So go ahead. Sorry to cut you off.
You're good, man. And also, you can't look at anybody, you can't touch anybody, and you fast for 13 hours a day. All right. I wanted to leave on fucking day 2 because it was so hard, man. Because the first night when I was there, they hit the bell, and then you're just quiet. You're like, this is not, this is gonna be a journey. Then when you start realizing the how challenging it is, you start to have second thoughts. So I had to start having second thoughts, and what it really made me see, though, was that I had an incredible issue with craving because there's three things you're either in at any moment. You're in craving. If you're not in the present moment, you're in craving, aversion, or ignorance. And you being able to know this gives you the insight into what the fuck you should be able to, what you're focusing on to allow yourself to uproot it. And my thing was that I would get so fucking angry when I would not eat. I would get grumpy, and they start talking about how that's a thing, and it's a lot of times it's craving. And now I can go 15 hours without eating now. And in that time, I learned how to really look at on a deep level what's happening inside of you as it's happening. And you feel so many moments of bliss and openness and you feel challenged. You feel all these different things in this 10-day period. And it's so important, I guess, I think it's important for anybody who's going into meditation to do this because you really start to see what are the things inside of you that you need to come to peace with. And presence is something that I think that if I would say the number one thing for somebody to be able to come into is presence. And that thing taught me more than anything about craving. It taught me that. So everybody will get their own thing from it, but that's definitely what it taught me. And it's up to you whether or not to follow the Vipassana method after you leave. But yes, it's an incredible method if people are wanting to be able to know what presence means, be able to go to the depths of their mind, the deepest level, and clear everything out. This is the thing to do.
Mm-hmm. And would you say that, because we were saying about like masculine energy and how it has to do with stillness, would you say that Vipassana, the fact that you're in stillness for so long and you're really teaching yourself how to be more still, would you say then, therefore, that you become more masculine as a result?
In that period of time, you in that period of time, you are able to be more masculine, so to speak, or sit in the masculine zone, so to speak, which is just the present moment. Mm-hmm. So yes, you would be becoming more of that, but any type of meditation where you're coming to stillness is that, where you're allowing yourself to just still within and to be unmoved, so to speak, because you're teaching yourself not to engage, so to speak, with the feminine that's happening. That's right. If you want to think about it from that term. So the thoughts are the feminine. The itching that you feel that you want to scratch, that's the feminine. Anything that's changing and moving and constantly, that's the feminine is. And I guess it's teaching you, if you want to talk about masculine and feminine, how to see the feminine. Like I was saying before, be the witness of it, but not engage. And the moment you can be the witness of it, that's amazing.
Wow, man, that is so cool. Like, it's funny because a lot of people that like meditate, you know, they're kind of like the hippie dippy types, but they don't realize because to them, meditation is like this, almost like a feminine thing, really, because they think that they're just connecting to the divine and stuff. Meanwhile, you're actually becoming more of a man. Like you're becoming more still, and like it's funny that to see it from that perspective, because I feel like a lot of people don't know that that's what's happening when you're meditating. You're becoming more masculine, really. So it's an interesting perspective for sure. And awesome, man. And how can people get in touch with you and your content and your coaching?
If people want to get in touch with me, they can go to thenaturallifestyles.com and they can go to the contact page and put an inquiry. And often Skype coaching, one-on-one coaching, and you can come to a workshop with me and the TNL squad. Or what you can do is go to the Natural Lifestyles YouTube channel or my channel, which is Essence of Solo. And this is where guys will be able to know much more about the feminine and the masculine that I speak about, and many of the other things that we just talk about in general as a company.
Beautiful. Awesome, man. I really appreciate this interview. This was probably very, very enlightening. Liam, how's it going?
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's Liam. He's another member of the TNL team. But, yeah, this was an awesome talk, man. I'm definitely going to have to listen to it again and just reap the golden nuggets, because there were many in this talk. And you very knowledgeable, and you hit upon a lot of those intellectual bases I was craving. Shit, I'm craving. I'm not in my masculine. I gotta go meditate. All right, man. Well, have a good one, and I will definitely let you know as soon as I get this link up. I'll send it to you, and thanks again, man.
All right, yep.
Take care.
See you guys.